We've all heard the saying, power corrupts, but in some instances, it seems power does more than just corrupt. It instills a certain level of eccentricity, peculiarity, and outright madness that borders on the unbelievable. Let's delve into the lives of seven such individuals, rulers from history, who were not just eccentric, but downright crazy. Our first port of call on this historical odyssey of madness is none other than the Roman Empire in the times of Nero, Claudius Caesar Augustus Germanicus, more commonly known as Nero. Emperor from 54 to 68 AD, Nero's reign was marked by extravagance, hedonism, and terror. It's been said that during the Great Fire of Rome in 64 AD, which razed much of the city, Nero played a fiddle as Rome burned, although this may be more legend than fact. However, it reflects his notorious disregard for his people's suffering. He was more interested in pursuing his passions for music and drama than in ruling. Nero was also known for his eccentric behavior. He ordered the construction of an extravagant villa, the Domus Aurea, complete with artificial lakes, vineyards, pastures, and an immense statue of himself, the Colossus of Nero. When he wasn't indulging in the arts, he was ordering executions, including that of his mother, Agrippina, and reputedly his first wife, Octavia. We move eastwards to China and into the realm of Emperor Zenda. Ruling from 1505 to 1521, Zenda was known for his love of play acting and role playing. He created an alternate world for himself in which he was not an emperor, but an ordinary citizen. He would often leave his palace to live amongst his subjects, engaging in various trades. There are accounts of him running a store and setting up a private bureau to handle affairs of the state during these play-acting escapades. Zenda was also known for his military role-playing. He had a mock city built just so he could lay siege to it, leading his troops in full battle regalia. But these games weren't always without real-world consequences. In one instance, during a river expedition, his boat capsized, leading him to nearly drowning. This incident led to his eventual decline in health and untimely death at the age of 30. Our journey continues, but we must now traverse both time and geography to get to our third eccentric ruler, Ivan the Terrible of Russia. Ivan IV Vasilievich, known to history as Ivan the Terrible, ruled Russia from 1547 to 1584. While he is credited with transforming Russia into a multi-ethnic and multi-religious state, his methods were more than questionable. The nickname Terrible reflects his behavior. He was prone to violent outbursts of rage and paranoia, particularly later in his reign. He even killed his own son, Ivan Ivanovich, during one such fit of rage. It's believed that his eccentric behavior could be attributed to bouts of mental illness which ran in his family. Ivan was also known for his bizarre rituals. He had an obsession with religion and the church, and he would often conduct mock ceremonies and rituals. He even formed a pseudo-religious order, the Oprichnik, whose members were known for their brutalities and lawlessness. Next, we enter the opulence of the Ottoman Empire with Sultan Ibrahim I, also known as Ibrahim the Mad. He was the ruler from 1640 to 1648. Ibrahim was more interested in his harem than in governing his empire. Stories abound of his sexual exploits and his obsession with overweight women. He sent his agents throughout his empire and even beyond to find the most corpulent women. Ibrahim was notoriously volatile and unpredictable. He had a fascination with furs and feathers, adorning his clothes and rooms with them, even in the heat of the summer. His reign ended in tragedy when, after years of increasingly erratic and violent behavior, he was overthrown and executed by his own officials. Next, we journey to the 18th century, where we meet Charles VI of France, or as he is better known, Charles the Mad. Charles's reign from 1380 to 1422 was plagued by bouts of psychosis. His most famous eccentricity was his belief that he was made of glass. This glass delusion led him to avoid physical contact with people and objects, fearing he might shatter. He would often forget that he was the king or even forget his name and his family. At times, he couldn't recognize his wife, Queen Isabeau of Bavaria. During one episode, he killed several of his knights during a fit of madness. His condition led to political instability, contributing to the tensions that eventually exploded into the Hundred Years' War. Our penultimate eccentric ruler hails from Bavaria, King Ludwig II. Known as the fairy tale king, Ludwig reigned from 1864 until his death in 1886. He is best known for constructing several extravagant castles throughout Bavaria, including the famous Neuschwanstein, an architectural marvel that nearly bankrupted the state. Ludwig was an ardent patron of the arts, especially the music of Richard Wagner. However, his passion for art and architecture eclipsed his responsibilities as a ruler. He was known to keep strange hours, conducting state business at night and sleeping during the day. His behavior became increasingly erratic over time, leading to his cabinet declaring him insane and unfit to rule. His death in Lake Starnberg under suspicious circumstances only adds to his enigmatic and eccentric persona. Finally, we reach the 20th century and meet a ruler known as much for his eccentricities as for his brutality, Jong II of North Korea. Jong II ruled North Korea from 1994 until his death in 2011. His reign was shrouded in a cult of personality that gave rise to many outlandish stories. He was said to have been born under a double rainbow, and that his birth was prophesied by a swallow, according to North Korean propaganda. His eccentricities weren't just limited to his mythical birth. He was known for his obsession with film. He had a collection of over 20,000 movies, and even had his favorite South Korean actress kidnapped in 1978 so that she could make movies for him. His eating habits were no less peculiar. He reportedly hated flying and would have live lobsters air freighted to his train during his travels. He also had a team of women who would inspect each grain of rice to ensure that it met his standards. From the eccentricities of Nero in Rome to the peculiarities of Jong II in North Korea, these 7 rulers left indelible marks on history, not just for their reigns, but for their unique, eccentric, and downright mad behaviors. Each one, in their own right, may have been considered nuts. And while some of their stories may be humorous, they also serve as a stark reminder of the impacts of unchecked power and the vulnerability of the human mind.